Welcome to Armenia.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
So great to welcome you here. Exactly. This round table.
Did you have a chance to see the city? Or
Not as yet, no.
Okay.
We got here at about 6:30 this morning, so
Okay.
it's been a fairly rush so far.
Well, I hope you will. You will.
Yeah, definitely.
We're looking forward to seeing some sights later today. So
Yeah.
Okay.
gonna be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the project. Okay. So Led Zeppelin, a legendary group with, millions of albums sold worldwide, and now you're in the show. Is this show kind of a dream come true for each of you? Could you ever expect that one day you're going to be involved in this performance? I mean,
It's a dream for me, for sure. It's, we all love Led Zeppelin's music, and to get to perform these songs, especially with an orchestra, is such a powerful thing, and the arrangements that Richard has done, it really is a dream come true. We've been able to travel to some amazing countries so far and perform in some beautiful venues, and we're really looking forward to performing here. So yeah, it's absolutely a dream come true, for sure.
As singers, you get kind of used to taking whatever job that sort of comes. You do weddings, you do birthdays, you do whatever you do to make a bit of money and pay the bills. But when you get a job like this, something that you absolutely love, music that you love, that you're really passionate about, it just brings it to a whole new level. It reminds you of why you do this.
Definitely, definitely. It's terrifying, but so exciting, the venue that we're obviously playing tomorrow. I don't think, have you played a stadium?
yeah, it's huge. It's not little. Yeah, it's huge.
It's a big deal. It's quite a big deal.
I've done one stadium before.
Oh, told you, ever the rock star.
Full of Armenians.
Yeah.
It's a stadium full
Not
of
full of
Armenians.
Armenians.
That makes a difference. Okay.
We're so excited. We are so excited. And just also traveling with the show, seeing how different cultures react to the songs, and back home they're quite reserved. And
Yes,
they're kind
they
of, British people are kind of like, well, impress us, And our last place we did was Greece. They were going crazy, absolutely jumping up and down, and they created a little mosh pit at the front of the stage, and it was so amazing. So looking forward to seeing what Armenia's got tomorrow.
Likewise.
But frankly, why did you choose, for example, Led Zeppelin? I understand that you mentioned, but maybe they chose you because you are, or there is some hidden agenda,
I think as rock singers, we've always
we're
been...
the best. Just we're the best. That's why.
And you have to know as a rock singer who Robert Plant is, surely, and the band, and also we write as well music, and so their lyrics are so inspiring and poetic, and it's poetry in rock, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
And I think we're the, hopefully the right people at the right time to be doing this gig. I think, it's just a privilege for us to be doing it, but at the same time, everyone on that stage is amazing. Our band are incredible. Richard, who wrote the orchestrations and conducts, everyone on stage is amazing at what they do. Yeah. So, we do it with confidence, but we understand how much of a privilege it is to be performing this music. So,
So rock and symphony orchestra, it's an interesting and at the same time like an unexpected combination. Did you have a thought that maybe people would not hear or understand it the way you saw it? Although, as we spoke in, Richard Sidwell is the man behind also Queen's Symphony, which was a huge touring success.
Yeah. You were part of that.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah, it's. I think it works really well. Orchestral music and rock music do pair very well together, which is why you've had quite a few big rock acts have done symphonic albums. I mean, Metallica did a symphonic version. There's been several other rock bands over the years that have kind of meshed the two together, and it really works. I think because symphony music with strings and brass and all that is very kind of emotive anyway. It gets you in the soul. and so does rock music. So when you combine those two,
Another
it just
magic, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And the drama of Led Zeppelin, they are so dramatic. And when you hear Kashmir,
Oh,
with-
yeah.
I mean, we first heard it when we did in the rehearsal, and Josie looked at me and went, "I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry too." And
I'm sure it was
so-
tense.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so emotional, and because we use the different orchestra in every place that we go, it brings new
Energy to it every time, so it's exciting every single time. It's never going to get boring.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
this show, it's just so exciting.
Exactly. I mean, when you're starting to put show together, I mean, the main goal was the combining this and making something for new generation. Was it the main idea, for example, to do that also? Because some folk new guys who said Led Zeppelin, something old. Like Tchaikovsky or Da Vinci or something like that, maybe. Or to say, no, this is like revival or something, maybe. Or
I think
yeah.
we were saying earlier, it's down to parenting.
Yeah.
You know, if it's parenting, passing it on, and you know, or maybe not, and rebelling and going down that rock road and finding them as well.
And also, the artists you just spoke about, you know, they're still popular now, you know. And for me, in 300 years' time, people will be listening to Led Zeppelin, people will be listening to the Beatles, you know, and there's things that are timeless.
Yes,
and
yes.
Led Zeppelin are one of the most successful rock bands of all time. In terms of ticket sales, you know, I think, was it 5 million people or something applied for the O2 show they did in 2007? And, you know, so the appetite is there, and people are starved of it because Led Zeppelin don't perform anymore, you know, so here we are, they have us.
Here you are.
because they want to hear like dun 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 dun, for example.
In one of the interviews, Robert Plant said, "I think the great essence of Led Zeppelin is the creativity and imagination that developed with each project. And a project is a project. It's not just going back and visiting the past. It's moving forward." Did you also have this in your mind?
For me, that was the most important part of being involved in this show, because I didn't want it to feel like a tribute act. And Robert Plant has always moved forward, he's always progressed, he's always challenging himself. You know, he did the rock stuff, and then he wanted to do a country record with Alison Krauss, and he's done that. And he's wanted to, you know, evolve as an artist. And for me, that's what I wanted them to be proud of it and go, wow, I wish we'd done that. Because I don't think they had done it. So I think
It's something new, isn't it? It's something that we don't think has been done before to this level, and for us, it's just about finding where our own personalities meet Led Zeppelin, being able to be ourselves and perform this music, you know, in an environment that it's not been done for before, you know, with an orchestra and all this stuff, you know.
And finding ourselves in the songs.
Yeah.
Breaking down what we know already, because obviously we listen to that music so much, we know how he sits in a line, we know the delivery he gives, and to not mimic it too much and bring ourselves to the songs, so we're not doing a carbon copy. And that's been quite difficult, hasn't it? To kind of find ourselves in the balance of everything and not...
Yeah.
Definitely is. And you're performing 25 hits, phenomenally famous everywhere. Is there, for example, one that's difficult for you just to perform? For example, you can't say, "Baby, I'm gonna leave you." I can't really. I can't say that. No way. For example, like this. Is there any?
For me personally, yeah, I do, "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You," and that it's probably about the hardest song for me to do, but it's also the most rewarding because it's just so passionate. And that's the thing I've always found about rock music. Rock music isn't about pretty notes and singing it perfectly. It's about the raw emotion behind it, or it should be anyway. And that's what gets you. It's feeling that pain, that anger that was written into that song. That's what makes it such a great piece of music.
Being a Led Zeppelin fan is an investment. It's not an easy listening experience. You have to listen to Led Zeppelin with purpose, you know. And so for an audience, it's not like I'm just going to sit and enjoy this show. You know, it's a real deep emotional experience, and for us singing it, it's the same. You know, we have to try and tell the story of these songs. You know, they say Led Zeppelin songs are either about elves or sex. So
There we go.
That's good. It was,
Yeah.
that's an investment.
I sing Since I've Been Loving You.
Okay.
And that's the hardest song for me. When Richard gave it to me, I had a meltdown because it's not like Ramble On, which is like verse, chorus, verse, chorus. There's so many different sections to it. And it starts so vulnerable and then ends in this kind of aggressive, painful, emotional release at the end. And again, like I said earlier, to try and learn it, because Robert never sings anything the same way twice.
yeah.
And I'm like, which version do I need to listen to and learn? It's crazy. It's so amazing. But when Pete was saying like the technicalities of it, my career for many years was as a backing vocalist, where you have to be technical and you have to sit in the pocket of everything. Where Robert isn't like that. And it's really difficult for me, who needs to sit on the beat, and he just chucks it out. And that was really uncomfortable for me to do that and learn how to do that. So I learned how he did it first, and then I had to remove that and then learn how I'm going to do it. So that was a challenge, but I loved it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. The tour was planned in 2020, and there was COVID-19, of course. This is rescheduled, and as you mentioned, Bulgaria, of course, UK, and Greece, and something, another audience, different audience, different expectations. So, which are your main expectations here in Armenia? Because, of course, for you, it's like terra incognito. Are you expecting something like here? The new stairway to heaven.
I'm expecting people to go crazy. For this.
We're hoping. We're hoping.
I mean, I've been lucky enough in the past to travel to like Ukraine. I don't want to get political, but I've been to Russia. I've been to Belarus, playing Led Zeppelin's music before.
Before, it was another project.
With another project, and people lose their minds. I think part of it being ex-Soviet Union is because it wasn't allowed. You know, there was lots of music you weren't allowed to listen to, so therefore people love it even more, you know. And rock music's always been rebellious and has been, you know, I think people just love rock music, especially in this part of the world. So I'm really excited to see the reaction of the people.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We set a huge bunch of standards for ourselves with every time we cut records. We were trying to be inventive. We weren't trying to supersede anybody else's gig. We were doing our own stuff. It was certainly something to live up to, Robert Plant said in one of his interviews. So what's next for you? Pink Floyd, maybe? No?
Which new group?
Queen? Led Zeppelin, maybe?
We were talking about this earlier. I think another good concert would be like British rock greats from 60s and 70s. So Who, Deep Purple, all those sort of bands. Because there was something very theatrical about the 70s rock scene in Britain especially, and it really works well with symphonic music. They mesh together really well. So yeah, something along those sort of lines would be great for me.
Yeah, especially because Who have already done like the classical quadrophenia.
Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy, it went down so well. So I think, Pete's nailed it. It'd be great to bring every dramatic band, because there were so many in the mix.
Yeah, I think for us as well, you know, we try to be artists in our own right, you know, so we all write music as well and put our own music out there. So for me, it's about doing our own thing as well, you know, as artists, and not just being a cover band. You know, this is obviously, we love doing this show so much, but then we're all legitimate artists in our own right and put out our own music. So that's what turns me on, you know, doing original music as well.
See, I wanted to say that, but I thought I'd get told off.
Really?
So good luck in your future endeavors, and good luck on your show. And we really, really hope you will have a little bit time to enjoy Armenia and the tastiest food and people.
Yeah.
Amazing hosts, amazing.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you
for having us.